Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we're here with episode 32 of SDF Macross. I guess before anything else, we've got the board, a few little changes. Now, I think I said in the recording last time that I was going to go through Macross Zero and just mark everyone as dead, but I didn't do that. I don't know. It kind of feels like that whole scenario of you didn't see them die, are they dead? And I also think here's the major factor that jumped into my head when I was looking at doing it is that it would also make it very confusing for the people who actually died in Macross Zero. Like, if I did that, should I make it a different color cross?
Pre-apocalypse, post-apocalypse.
Well, I don't know about that, but like died in their own series versus died outside of their series or implied to be dead cross.
Yeah,
Because, like I said, say Dr. Hasford or Ivanov over here, they're cross red because they died in their episode. We know how they died. They died to each other, right?
yeah,
Versus marking them dead because they're from 2008 and this is 2010 or 2009 activity. It had to be 2010, right? It started 2009. We took a year to get back to Earth.
yeah. And then 2 years after. So,
Well, no, we're 2 years
well,
after that now, but I mean when the
yeah.
apocalypse happened.
Yeah, it was a year after, more or less.
Yeah, I could do that. That was my main concern was being able to keep track of why they're dead. Because the implication would be, well, fuck, man, what happened to Macross Zero? Everyone fucking died in it. It's like, no, technically. Or should I copy all of these people that survived, move them down? No, because then you would think they were in the show. The problems of a concept board. Otherwise, added our new guy down here, Kenichi Machizaki. Really, he has
Uh,
no connections to anybody other than being a part of the crew, so I just tied him
yeah,
into the green line that ties all the crew together.
it makes sense. I think he's just one more of the backup
And then
people.
Kwamzin and Morak. I kept it a white line, only
Yeah,
because it seems like they're allies, but we know she's manipulating him.
yeah.
So I added a one direction relationship line there, the same that we did with Misa
With Barrett.
and Kaifun,
Yeah.
where Misa's infatuated Kaifun. Kaifun doesn't seem to give a shit, so it's a one direction line. Other than that, I don't think anything else is really different. Let's see, I don't have Britai connected to Murak at all, but again, I'm still under the impression that Britai is not to be seen again.
Yeah.
I think my dude has shot his shot now.
And
Yoshio just vanished
Yosh-
from the show.
yeah, Yoshio. I mean, he could have been the guy, the little guy. Well, no, because they're family. So he would have recognized his cousin because that's Yoshio is the youngest child of
I thought
the
Yoshio was the neighbor kid.
yeah.
Yeah, Yoshio was the neighbor. That's how she introduces him in the first episode. He's the neighbor kid,
Ah,
and she's taking him out to see the show or the.
yeah. Oh, so he could have been the teenager that was developed the delivering papers.
I don't
Could have been, but
know. He's
we
like,
don't
what do
know.
you think here? 5? 5 at the start of the show? This picture that we got of him here?
Probably about it could be 5, it could be a little older, 7 or 8.
Yeah, it's only been like 3 years at the most, though. He's not like a
Yeah.
teenager.
Mm. At a growth spurt.
I don't know, man. I don't. I think that's just the back of some kid's head. I guess the only other person I could have possibly added to the board that I still haven't would be the new Genus kid. I didn't have a picture for them. Obviously, they don't have a voice actor. So,
No. Oh, the baby. Yeah,
yeah, the new Genus kid.
yeah. The baby gets tossed around.
Yeah, because that mother really cares. Otherwise, I don't think there's any other real changes here.
Yeah.
Because obviously, Hikaru and Minmay, despite everything that's been said, that's still a two-directional line. I guess the only other thought that I wanted to make a change to, but I never did, was I want to change the Admiral Hyase line to a green line to global, because eventually at the end they did kind of like were allies in the end.
I realizes his mistake.
Well, my only problem there is more of a an academic one, or rather, I guess bookkeeping one. If I made that a
Yeah.
green line, it would cross over a number of green lines and make it infinitely harder to read. That's the only reason why I
Uh,
haven't done that.
yeah, I just leave it as is. It was just basically one line. I was like, yeah, no, you were right. Boom. The end.
Yeah. Well, I mean, mostly because it would also be a green line over to Misa. And the problem there is, if you notice on the board, why I have two different colors of the same lines, it's because one is like an off color green, and the other one is green, but they're both meant to represent the same thing. It's just what I do when I have to crisscross two of the same colors over each other, so that you can keep track. Still, I am still learning how to do these best. I think this still looks pretty good, though.
I mean, it works.
Shining praise. All right, well, I think unless you've got something to say about the board, that's all I've got for now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still saying that all these people up here and Zero are dead, but they're alive in their own contained series, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, like I said, maybe I can do like a purple cross line or something. No, I'm using purple for relation. Maybe yellow. I'll figure something out. You know what? I was here for last episode, so I know what was happening. I'll figure out this while you give everybody the recap of what was happening last episode.
Okay, then. Last episode was episode 31, Satan's Dolls. Essentially, it is a setup where the Centrati Renegades are trying to capture a micron chamber that allows them to, change size. So all the Centrati that be micronized or made small can grow up, back again. But of course, Typhoon intervenes because he sees that a connection between Hikaru and Lim and May. So he basically sets up the crowd and said, "Hey, you're gonna have yourself a riot if you try to take this, device away after the first attack by the rebels." Meanwhile, basically we have Global more or less explain the background of the Centrati and saying, "Well, yes, we have a lot of commonality." But the protoculture created two armies. One was the Centrati, and the other one was the Supervision Army. And those armies have been fighting, or force has been fighting for the last 500,000 years. And in the process, they destroyed the protoculture, uh, which literally means the original culture, the prototypical culture. And so humanity is not technically the protoculture. Of course, we know what happened if you've been watching what happened in Zero. So, uh, our they do posit that they might have the protoculture might have some influence in humanity, explaining why the similarity or the fact that uh, Centrati are basically the same genetically as humans, can even reproduce. Um, but aside from that, it's a question of what happens. And at the end of the episode, Quasum um, makes an attack again on the facilities of where the chamber was being held, the device, and manages to steal it. And, proving once again that Kaifun is an idiot, you know, which is, I still kind of roll my eyes in that because his arguments on the face are not wrong, but they put them in the mouth of a complete jackass. And it's like, well, sure, this might be the message of the overall series that war is wrong, but not this way, right?
I mean, he was
He's like,
pretty
okay.
wrong. The whole you have no military force, you have no force here to prevent this attack that we're warning you will happen. And he's like, the people will do it.
I mean, the sentiment that people should decide about this and the military simply shouldn't be able to take this advice from them is a good sentiment, but he did it for the wrong reasons, right? And
It's
ultimately he didn't care. He just wanted to show up Hikaru, right?
it's
That's what he
funny.
was doing it for.
It's funny to me. You've watched Babylon 5 before, right?
Mm-hmm.
I literally just got done rewatching. Well, I was watching somebody else react to it, but I'd watched it like 100 times my own stuff. The episode in season 3, where Babylon 5 declares independence, and they have to deal with the Night Watch. The whole chain of command thing. You know, a governor cannot issue an order. It has to come from the chain of command. So the idea that these people could argue with you all you want, it doesn't matter. They're still civilians. A civilian cannot give you an order. If you've been ordered to do a thing, I don't care how many people are rioting. Your orders come from the chain of command. That means global on down. I don't know who global reports to. Now, if there's a civilian government, that global then has to. Gotta hate his name still. That global. Well, it's funny considering now that he is the commander in chief and he's global. But if he's like the president and the head of the military, if he's like Adama when he takes over in Battlestar Galactica, then it's fucked. There's no outside reach. If Global says take it, I don't care what they say. I'm both president and commander in chief. Then you're fucked. You've got no say. You're living in what effectively was the old UN and in the new UN.
I mean, yeah, but it depends on whether or not you actually want to fire on essentially civilians.
Well, you don't have to. I mean, they weren't fight. They were up in arms, but they were up in arms chanting, right? They weren't actually fighting, and we didn't see how far they were willing to push it. Like they didn't pull out the United States military mechs that we saw get busted up in the fight. They didn't pull those out to say, "No, you're not taking it. If you try, we'll fight you." It was literally just a standoff. Sorry, also another thought now that I'm talking again. Yeah. When you were talking about the last time on and the whole we were formed into two different groups, is it not possible then that we could be descended from the Supervision Army?
They don't know, because I think the implication from Global is that humans evolved on Earth.
I already hate the fact that you said the implication from Global.
Yeah, he says
FOMO told Global, and now you're even saying Global told us that. Fuck Global.
I mean, he was the one who was saying it. That's why.
I know. I just hate that implication that we make him the authority because he decided, no, FOMO, I'll tell them.
Yeah.
I just mean that the fact is that they said that the original Zentradi were split into two. You know, you have whatever they were called before. The protoculture is what they were called before.
Yeah.
And then they split into the Zentradi and the Supervision Army, but they were both literally, as I understood from the episode, the same thing. That they were just happened to then start fighting each other. Well, if they're the same thing, with just different ideals, I guess, then we could be either one. The DNA would still be the same.
Yeah.
So Birdman could have come from the Supervision Army.
Could have been. Although I think the implication because of its design, I mean, one of the things that the show has kind of go into is that the Supervision Army kind of looks like their signs are like the Macross, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
The Macross is visually distinctive from the Zentradi, and the Birdman is visually distinctive from all those two.
Well,
in fact, it kind of looks more like the Zentradi than the.
Well, I mean, when I meant we might be descended from the Supervision Army, I meant more that one of their ships came here, so they knew we were here. The Zentradi didn't know we were here until the Zentradi showed up. Macross, a Supervision Army ship, came here, which is, I don't know what the odds are of just hitting the fold button and just
Yeah.
teleporting randomly to the one inhabited planet, you know, in all
Yeah.
of space. So I don't know. It just seems like they knew we were here, which would be a high implication that maybe we're more them than the central. Well, there's no more them if we're all descended from the same DNA. I don't. It all depends really on what you take from Birdman.
Yeah.
And then
Which is one
what?
of the reasons why when you watch Zero, it kind of becomes more complicated because like if you know what you're told before, it's like, but wait a minute, but they say this, but this just happens, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I know the difference between taking things in chronologically versus release. That
Mm.
uh, Zero was Zero the next to last or the last? Zero was next to last, right?
Next to last, yes,
Yeah, because
because
it's
after
Delta.
Delta is the last one.
Yeah. So by
No, no,
that point,
actually, no. I think it's Zero, Frontier, and then Delta.
right. Well, I mean, Zero was 2003, right? Release.
Yeah. So yeah, it's Zero. It's
I
yeah,
mean, by
because
the way,
after
I don't know. Obviously, you would know more than me, but I hear they're making another Macross animated series too. They're
I
making.
wouldn't be surprised.
I was looking it up the other day just to see. Like, I'm interested. Like, Gundam Seed came out with a movie recently, and Gundam Seed came out in 2003. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, they're making another game and they're making another animated series. So that's
I
what they're working
mean,
on at the moment.
there was all this dispute with Harmony Gold that got settled apparently. So
Well, yeah, but that dispute didn't have anything to do with them being able to make new stuff. It's just distribution.
I mean, yeah, but if you want one of the things that sort of capped the fame and the profits of Macross is being able to go to international market. Now
Fair.
that you have the opportunity, you would take it. Like, oh, let's do this before anything else changes. Let's put it out there and have it people. Oh, hey, in other words, they want. I think this movie is they're going to go for a Gundam Wing situation.
Well, no,
Or
TV show.
yeah, and it's a TV show. Yeah, but the same thing happened with Gundam Wing, which was a TV show, and that was the one that became
I
successful in the
don't know.
West,
I don't know. If you're going to do that, like, you just do Macross 2, the series.
which they did, but it was another studio, and
Well,
it's
no,
been
I mean, the series, not the movie.
no, there was an OVA called Macross 2.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's a movie, though. The Macross 2 movie.
No, no, no. It's an OVA,
Oh,
a
okay.
manga,
I thought.
and also there's a movie. It's not a movie. It's an OVA. It's like 3
I could have
episodes.
sworn it was
A
a
three
movie.
episode.
Anyway,
It,
I don't know how far off point we got.
yeah.
The point I was originally getting to was that if you watch this in release order, then you would know all that information, or all the
Mhm,
information available by the time you got to Zero, versus
mhm.
me is my first information. So I'm always going to be thinking back to Birdman, who I think
I
had
mean,
time
yeah.
travel powers. So, you know, they said it could teleport in space and time. What else can do that? The TARDIS?
I think it's just an explanation for super dimensional travel,
Look,
basically.
you gotta choose your words carefully, especially if they're the only words you're gonna say about it on the entire show. So, I think it's both from the future and or past of a different planet, which literally means it could be fucking anything.
Yeah.
But yeah. Obviously, also, while you were giving that explanation, I put a gray X over everyone's face from the Cross Zero, and I denoted that as killed in another series, which allowed me then to also cross off Roy from Across Zero, as he was literally killed in another series. It was a good double explanation there.
There you go.
Let's see. Otherwise, I don't. I think I already covered the whole thing last episode we recorded. Do you have any other continuing thoughts?
Now that I think about it, the last final thought on that board is that, and this is a nature of doing a prequel. Clearly, Claudia and what's his name,
Edgar?
Edgar are at least family, probably even brother and
The
sister.
confusing thing is that on the I told you I get the images from behind the voice actors, which
Yeah.
lists the people who voice them. Is that he's
Uh-huh.
Edgar LaSalle, one word, and she's Edgar. I mean, she's Claudia LaSalle. 2 words. So
Uh,
I'm pretty sure they're related, but it's just confusing that they listed them last name spelling completely different.
yeah. I would have to go to the wiki, Macross wiki, but I don't want. I'm avoiding the wiki for now because
Sometimes I go there only so much to tell what if I got the information right about the order of the shows. I don't read like plot synopses or anything.
yeah.
But I can tell you, well, the one thing I was trying to do before was I told you for the first couple episodes, it was telling me the order of character introduction. So like if you go to episode 1, it tells you all the characters that appear in that episode. So after we would record the episode, I would go there so I could see who should be up on the board. They do not keep track of their episodes. It goes like 1, 2, 3. We've got no information for the next 20 episodes. Then 27, or then it's 27, which is a link, and you click the link, and it says this is a song featured in. No, I clicked the link for the episode. Nope, this is all about the song.
Yeah. The wiki is fine if you want to get descriptions of mechs and ships and stuff like that, but outside of that, it's...
Oh, no, it is nowhere near as good as the Gundam wiki. And that's not just me being a fanboy for Gundam. I think the people who do the Gundam shit are so hard up for Gundam. They list every goddamn thing possible. Whereas I am just like, God, this is so disappointing. The majority of the show that mainlines the entire Macross universe has no information about it.
Yeah.
You people, if you're watching this because you're a Macross fan, you guys got to do some work. Put some elbow grease into that. Tell me all about the background characters that I might not know about. It's so bad that I can ask an AI about the Macross characters and the AI doesn't know anything. I mean, nobody's talking about it. Well, no, it can tell you. It can tell you a lot of shit. It's just it doesn't know the recent stuff and stuff that nobody's written stuff about.
Oh yeah, it can't borrow information from the more information out there, the more it can borrow.
Yeah, it can't watch the show itself and tell you. Yeah. So if nobody's written the wiki article about it, or then it don't exist. Anyway.
That's not a bad use of AI if it's collating data and giving it to you in a useful manner.
Yeah, no, I mean that's what I do a lot with. I can't remember which one of them it is, but I take a bunch of information that it doesn't have, and I'm like, okay, remember this applies to this. Remember this applies to this. Okay, now tell me what would happen if this and this happened. I make its own database based on information. I kind of tried to make an AI make an Ironclaw campaign out of that by telling it how the game works. Okay, you have characters with this many dice, with this kind of, I laid it all out and tried to make it play a game. Anyway, any final thoughts before we head into the episode?
Nope.
All right, then I said we go ahead and get started. But before we get started, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below to feed that algorithm. On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered, uncensored, and uncut, as well as some early access stuff, you can check it out over on the Patreon. Just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure. It's all to support the channel, just a little bit extra. It's funny to me because we just got done recording episodes of Frieren this morning. Frieren, sorry, I keep saying it wrong. And they just did an opening change.
Is that the one? No, it's Dungeon Mushi is the one where they are they eat the monsters in the dungeon, right?
I don't know Dungeon Mushi. I keep hearing that name and I keep thinking it's the one. Is it wrong to pick up girls in the dungeon?
No, that's a different one.
Yeah, I know it also sounds worse than it actually is. That's the one where the gods are. There's a tower that both goes up into the heavens and a tower that goes down into the depths. And the gods are just part of the world. They live up in the tower, but some of them are also on the ground level too. What was I talking about? No, Frieren is the one about. They went on a 10-year adventure to defeat the Demon King, and the show starts at the end of the adventure when they're already heading home, having won, and just like 50 years go by, and the hero dies of old age, and the elf is dealing with not having ever tried to learn about humanity or anything like that, and her friend just died. It's an emotional journey.
That sounds like a pretty good idea of a setting, yeah. A good post-story story.
Well, real quick, my point was that we're 10 episodes from the end, and they did a second opening right there at the very end. War, man. War never changes. Playing missile command in the air. Is it just me, or did they fire all their missiles a minute ago?
Yeah.
I would not want to be riding on his shoulder. You saw her Misa up there, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, she was on, I guess, Hikaru's shoulder.
Yeah, she is. That's...
Oh, Gundam wants to call you again. I mean, knowing him, he's gonna shoot his own allies in the back. Oh, they're playing him. Hey, is this a new song?
Apparently.
Oh man, the bleacher seats would be such a threat of death. You would never know when a Centrati's gonna go off his, off his wig and stomp you to death. Case in point, but not exactly how I meant. Oh, now I remember. Helping Kaifun gets tossed at the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad we have an eye look, so everyone knows what I mean to do.
Yeah. He's the kind of commander that I think people would just want to anticipate commands before they get shot in the back.
Yeah. You won't be too afraid. Okay, he's looking at me. What does he want me to do? I'm gonna kick this guy just to make sure.
Yeah.
We care about exactly 50% of those.
Yeah.
So I guess his ship does not work anymore, in fact. What the fuck game are you playing?
葉に従うか好きにしたらいいぜ。
少し時間をくれ。
いいだろう。あ、それから装備意識も忘れないでね。
All the extras.
I mean, gotta pay the voice actors, right?
I'm just thrown because I thought Kaifun was saying if he wants the ship, then destroy it, right? But then Quasium says, you better do what he says. So I'm just thrown. What do you mean?
しかし作戦とは言いながら待ってんのは俺の性に合わねえや。こうなんかドンパチ一騒動欲しいぜ。刺激が欲しい。それまでお前さんでもおもちゃにしてるかな。
There's only one thing that I can do in these situations.
なんてやると思ってたのか。
Yeah, I was saying, literally, you've been watching this for 2 years. You shouldn't be this affected by it.
笑うな。俺たちがお前の歌に驚いたのはあの頃文化の部の字も知らなかったからだよ。
驚いたってただそれだけなの？
そうよ。だいたいお前の歌に人を感動させる力があると思ってたのか。単に物珍しかっただけさ。それなのにあのバカ者どもやれ文化だなんだと騒ぎやがった。貴様のおかげで奴らふぬけになっちまったんだぞ。
ああ、人質。
おっとっと、そうだった。こいつ死んじゃいねえだろうな。大事な人質だってことを忘れてたぜ。おいラプラミズ。
It's hell of a screenshot.
これでやめとけよ。
分かってる。でももう少し。
やめろ。
Oh, please break a leg, something.
なかなか文化的な遊びだな。これは。
閣下、なんだねモトコフ准将。あのように人質を取り、何かを要求してくるなど、今までゼントラー D 人はしませんでした。なるほどな。これも地球人の影響か。
I guess this is how that Civilization 6 ending works when you win by culture victory.
一応人質の2人は有名人ですから、もし要求を無視して殺されでもしますとマスコミが。
まだ体制が固まっていない政府だから。
Don't we still control the media?
No, not really. We just said it. Our control is not that tight, you know.
I'm just making a joke that the old UN controlled all the media.
Yeah, true.
Oh, do we send all the backup bridge bunnies?
分かったわ。
Apparently.
第103デストロイド部隊の駐屯地があるから共同で行動して指揮はあなたに任せるそうよ。はい、了解。作戦の内容をもう一度チェックして早速行動指示に移るわ。じゃ気をつけてね。ローズティー用意して待ってるわ。ありがとう。護衛の一条隊員を呼び出して。
了解。こちらチェシャキャット。スカルリーダー応答願います。
こちらスカルリーダー。
Cheshire Cat.
見つかったの？
一番良くない予想が当たったわ。
じゃあカムジンが何か。
イオネスコシティで人質を取って戦艦一隻を要求して。
Ionesco City. That's an interesting name.
くれるじゃない。こっちが必死
I mean,
っていうのに。で、
we're just making new cities, right? We can name after anything.
True.
I guess just be happy it's not a bunch of new X city. Well,
今のところ
new New York.
それで近くにいるデストロイド隊と協力して私たちは
よかった。無事なんだ。
God damn it.
第一
はい。
And where does it go when the camera's like this?
詳しい内容は後で知らせます。分かったわね。
おおむね了解。
以上です。
Launched all the missiles.
あいつ何起こってんだろ
Like when Riker sits on a console.
う。民名を人質に
Yeah. But launch all the torpedoes, basically.
Oh, it's my favorite clip when he sits on a console. You hear all the and the clip of the Enterprise exploding.
かかると思う？
もうこのこ ことは何度も話し合ったじゃないか。カムジンなら引っかかるよ、必ず。
もし
He's a real dummy.
じゃあ君は町を包囲して攻撃をかけ、その隙に人質を救出しろってのか？上層部の考えた人質の命をどうとも思わないあんな作戦なら俺は降りる。君が指揮を取るんだから現場のやり方ってのがあるだろうが。
そんな言い方って、仮にも私は指揮官よ。
そんなもこんなもあるか。人質の命が
Slap him in the face.
民命のことになると随分張り切るのね。私が人質だったらこうは。
This show came out 5 years earlier. Someone be getting slapped right now.
冗談なんてよく言えるな。
So
And then they got disintegrated by the thrust of the laser.
when you originally watched this, did you still like him at this point?
I mean, I was much younger, and to be perfectly honest, I mean, I still like him, with all faults and all, but I can recognize that he's far from perfect, you know.
Where is this meat coming from? What animal is this large? Right, they're still in giant form. Those are bones
Yeah.
and meat. Do all the elephants of the earth survive? Even then, it's too big of a bone. They're using their clone machines to clone dinosaurs to eat.
Not for you, dude.
I hate the fact he's also considered a celebrity.
I mean, he was in that one movie, and he was the lead of the movie. He was the hero.
It's fair, I keep forgetting about that.
Yeah.
That movie did have a great soundtrack. I can only imagine all soundtracks to all movies are all of Min May's 5 songs.
また戦場を作り出し、同胞の死を作り出すのですか。戦いは何ももたらしません。あなた方も戦いの虚しさはよくご存知でしょう。あなた方は一度文化に触れたではないですか。
Quick Min May, launch into your new song, War. What is it good for?
もう一度文化的な生活に戻ってください。ただ単に破壊的要求に従って生きるなんて。
That's a big boombox.
I think the animators forgot about scale.
Yeah.
なんだ。
いいか、文化ってのはな、こうやるんだ。
Is that how you make culture?
Well, that's how you start making babies, I suppose.
Yeah.
Now he's the one defeated by a kiss.
While you're making culture.
Making culture.
何？
この文化今がいいとこだったのに。
When the culture was getting okay, now we know what culture stands for now, really.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is just like we're using reactionary weapons, the same for nuclear weapons. Culture is just a substitute so we can air this to kids.
Yeah.
See, he got knocked off the air, and Cosm here thinks he's still alive. Admiral could be down there alive for 2 years, just waiting to be found. Oh, I thought you shot him in the head for a second.
Like, thank you for the help. Boom. That would have been
real dark.
Yeah.
やろうとも同じよ。やっぱり戦ってるのが一番なんだ。腕が鳴るぜ。
文化の続きはまたお預けか。
I'm just wondering, can the giants get pregnant?
ついていってもいいのか。
お前なら足手まといにならねえだろ。
でもお前は何乗るんだ。
いい乗り物があるぞ。
Yeah, the show's going in a weird direction.
いいじゃなかったか。どっちでもいいじゃないか。早く動かさないと親分に。全身だバケ野郎。ほら見ろ全身じゃないか。口で言った方がわかりやすいのにな。前に見た西部
This is a comedy hour? What's going on here?
Yeah.
Also, that's his army?
I mean, when most of the armed forces have been destroyed and
Right, that's who he had in his camp. Never mind.
yeah.
It's kind of weird also that this is the uplifting music that's playing during the fight. When it's him that's riding out.
That's a lot of monsters. Wow.
Not even a full encirclement. Technically, we saw the battle pod to the right of his tank got destroyed.
Yeah.
That's the one that she was on.
No, she's in the command pod, the Glaug.
Hard to argue when you know the names of things.
ネズミは穴に落ちたわ。
了解。
目標のホールの周りにはリガートが3機だけです。
了解。テイクより侵入中。
I just mean when they were setting off, she rode on the one that was to the right of his tank thing.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
君を絶対無傷で助けてやる。
Look, I was really attached to the Hirko-Minmei relationship back when they were stuck in the Macross, right when they were by themselves, considering committing
Yeah.
suicide. After that, it just got kind of annoying. Also, why did they blow a hole in the wall?
To get in.
Do you not remember that these guys tore giant holes in the building when they got in?
Yeah, and the roof.
And we know that they can't repair anything. It's one of the defining traits of being a Zentradi.
ありがとう、光。
Just get them out of there.
Don't worry, there was no more fighting that you had to worry about.
他のやり方もあるだろうに。
私たちは最善と思われる行動を取りました。人質の命は。
You got rescued and you complain?
最優先が聞いてあげれる。大体君たち軍人は。
The problem is I can't even hope somebody slaps Skyfoon. Skyfoon's a fucking martial arts master.
Wow.
All that he was missing was doing the Jesus pose.
Yeah.
みんな半年ぶりだね。
6 months?
あなたはいつだって私の心の中に。
I'll be
God.
honest, I had already switched over to the Hikaru Misa camp, so this is a twist for no reason. Why are you riding so high?
And with a helmet. Kind of weird way of walking or running.
The only benefit to this scene is that it hurts Kaifu.
Yeah.
That's how those work. Pretty sure that guy was getting slapped with a missile. You suck.
くそ、玉切れか。こっちの玉も切れましたぜ。地球を玉切れだ。これでもくらい。ラプラミス大丈夫か。
大丈夫さ。
無理するな。もうここまでだな。弾も尽きちまったし。野郎ども退却だ。退却。
It looked like he was about to pick her up, But in the runaway, he's like being carried. By the way, by the side of the thing that we already know had no arm.
一条隊員も参加させるわ。しかしいいのよ。イチャついてる暇があるんだから。悪いけど。
Seriously?
逃げ出したカム人たちの追撃に加わってほしいの。
人質は助けたんだからもういいじゃないか。
そうはいかないわ。
じゃあ他のやつに頼んでくれよ。
あなた中隊長じゃなかったの？
ああ、わかったよ。いきゃいいんだろいきゃ。
Your boy is a child sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like the first time he's pulled a, like, you don't have command over me. It's like, yeah, literally, it's a chain of command. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, he is.
Do you what I say, or be prepared for a court-martial. Why did we decide that this was a good time to pull the love triangle again? We solved it in the best episode. 27. We said goodbye. We're done.
That's why I keep saying that this is the worst part I hate about the show. The whole forced triangle thing, love triangle thing. They just keep forcing it.
I hate to say it, but these people should have been on Earth when episode 27 happened. God, Minmay can run really fast. She was keeping up with the Valkyrie there for a minute.
Yeah. I mean, I feel for her.
I don't. She made her choice.
I mean, true.
She literally told Hikaru, I choose Kaifun. I only thought of you as a friend. What are you happy about? She tripped?
Because he... No, I think it's because he actually chose to do what was told as opposed to quitting.
That's not be happy. I'd still be mad. The hissy fit that you put. She's been up front already. Oh, thank God. Give me another Fokker episode. I would gladly welcome any number of episodes with that dead character than more Hikaru, Minmay, Misa episodes.
Yeah. Like I said, that's why I'm not a fan of the way they did it, right?
Roy is just the best character. Even in death, he's saving the show a bit, it seems. I will deal with a Roy romance episode posthumously. Would be more interesting than whatever's going on here. The only danger in that is that there's no way I'll possibly be able to see Roy punch Kaifun.
Yeah.
I think Roy could take Kaifun. I don't care how martial arts master he is. Roy will throw sand in your eyes and punch you in the dick.
I mean, Hikaru can hold his own in a couple of fist fights, so it's not like he's out of,
I don't know. Kaifun is the only one that we literally uppercut a guy in the dick in midair, remember?
Yeah. No, while he was sitting down. He was sitting down, the guy flew over him, and he went like this. Him in the dick as he passed by.
I'm just saying, Kaifu's the only person who didn't have to beat somebody up in a Valkyrie or whatever. To the point that somebody saw him and said, we need to put that guy in a movie.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I guess in world he's supposed to look amazingly attractive or something, because everyone fawns over him. I don't know what the equivalent would be in real life, because obviously he's supposed to be Asian, and I don't know that many Asian actors.
I mean, he could be a variety of kung fu cinema actors, I suppose, or action hero actors from Japan.
Oh God, I wish I could remember. The one
South
that
Korea,
I made, the character in that game that you ran, that I made the backstory on, I based on a real life person, and that real life person had a really great, a whole Tom Cruise style filmography.
Yeah.
Just explicitly like Japan, China, South Korea, that sort of places. If I could remember, I could remember.
I think he would be like a South Korean former pop star turned movie actor, kind of thing.
But still, I would love to see Roy punch him.
I would see a conga line of people who he gets messed up with, like all the people in that city that he encouraged to keep the miclone chambers. Like, oh yeah, we got attack. Okay,
I
we
think
know who
we've
to
made
blame
this
for
joke
this.
before about doing that that hysterical scene in Airplane.
Yeah,
Everyone lined up with a weapon or something. Don't worry, we can take care of this.
the people with the fists, the baseball bats, the gun, the
Yeah.
wrench. Yeah,
But I just want more Roy. Roy was my guy when he was alive, which I didn't
Yeah.
appreciate before I commissioned the art. But Roy's dead, Britai's not, so I guess technically I kind of made the right choice. But still, Roy was my guy. I liked him in Zero, and in this he was just entertaining. Obviously, Hikaru wouldn't have made all the right choices without Roy around. Roy had to keep coming up on him. What the fuck are you doing? Get back to base! I told you you're supposed to be resting right now.
yeah. I think it's also, well, no, I was gonna say, well, he was a civilian, but no, that's a very thin veneer to hang the fact that he's still very much a brat at times.
I think he's just too young. I think that's what it comes down to, is that he's just making, or not that he's making it. I'm going to put this more into the narrative, that he's being written as a petulant child at times, despite the fact that he's been put through a lot of responsibility, and that responsibility should have changed him, in that we've seen him react to it. Like, I've got people to take care of. I've got to worry about where X and X person is. And that person is not the same person who throws his helmet on the ground and has a fit when his commander tells him what to do. That's not the same guy who has to tell Misa, space is dangerous. I need to get this guy back to base before his Valkyrie craps out on him. These are not the same character. He's being written differently and poorly for no reason.
Well, he's being written poorly for the support of the love triangle, right? The plot point. It's what I like to call characterization to fit the plot. Oh, we need to make a plot point happen, so we're going to have this character do a thing that normally they wouldn't do because reasons, right? The reason is we need to have still the conflict between Mimei, Misa, and him, and it's like, he has to act like a brat but still throw his helmet,
Because we wrapped up the show too quickly.
I guess so.
Well, we hit the dead end on everything in episode 27. We finished the love triangle. I mean, we didn't put a dead end cap on it, I guess. Nobody really, expressed themselves to one another. Oh, they didn't, did they? I think I can milk at least another 9 episodes out of this.
Yeah.
But what are we going to do as a backdrop? We just killed the Earth. Don't you worry about that. I've got a lot of leftover animations. I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm happy the next episode apparently deals with Roy. Nothing with Roy has been bad so far. Like, I mean, the show didn't really use him that much past, God, I don't know, since we got sent to Pluto. Like, I think I asked way back then, man, Roy's not going out that much, is he? Isn't he squadron commander? He doesn't get sent out in the missions that much.
Yeah, I mean, as a squadron commander, he wouldn't be sent in every mission. That's why he has subordinates. But still, I think his job basically became, he's a senpai. He is the older man who is supposed to guide Hikaru. The problem is they killed him off before the lesson seemed to have stuck.
Well, I mean, you say he didn't get sent out on that many missions, but Hikaru gets sent out on every mission, so...
Well, he's the protagonist, right?
Right, but I mean, it didn't feel like it would have taken that much work just to have Roy out there, right? Unless we're paying the voice actor by the line, then okay, maybe. But even then, we've got how many animations of the Skull, I don't know what we would call it, the Skull Valkyrie?
Skull Squadron, yes. It's Skull 1.
We've got
Skull
so many
001,
animations of Skull 1, we can just throw it in any scene. To be flying in the background. I'm just saying, they didn't seem to use him that much when they had Hikaru available for development. And at the same point, he could have been in the squad. I don't know. I just think they did Roy dirty in that. They did him dirty, and then they just had him riding around on golf carts in the Macross, yelling at people. Any final wrap-up thoughts about this episode?
I'm glad it's over.
Well, yeah, it looks like, well, no, because Quasim retreated.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad the episode it's over.
Yeah.
And it kind of answers the question. It's like, no, they have got a costume to culture, and basically, Quasim's thing is he just wants to fight. Right? He's looking for an excuse to fight. He wants the weapons. He wants to kill. He wants to be, the embodiment. He's the one character that hasn't really changed. He wants to fight. He's always wanted to fight. He'll disobey orders or look for. Now that he has no one in command, he's in charge. So he just wants to fight, right? Although he seems to be caring about Lapis a little bit, like, oh, you're hurt, oh, hey, but we don't know if that's genuine on his part, and she is,
Well,
'cause at first it feels
she's the confusing one now. Because we know from last episode, that's why it was the one-way direction arrow on the board.
Yeah.
That she said, "Oh, I'm playing him," but then she's thinking to herself, "Oh, is there going to be any culture later?
Yeah.
We get some culture tonight."
Well, I hope there's she bought extra giant panties because apparently, she's gonna need to wash them.
Anyway, one last thought here, as I just occurred to me who I was trying to think of before. When Quasim was giving his chaos, I want war, is that I couldn't think of it. That sounds very familiar. Who is this reminding me of? The Major from Hellsing Ultimate. Because the Major's like, I want war. I want chaos. It's literally, I mean, it's not the same speech, obviously, but it's very much the very same motif. Obviously, this came first.
Now, the only thing I really like about this post-war arc is the idea that the Centrati are having problems dealing with peacetime, right? And the whole rebuilding thing. That is actually a pretty cool idea. The problem is they kept going like, I'm like, just settle down over there in a corner and just sit down and do your thing. And
Go figure that the Zentradi would have a problem living in a capitalist society.
Post-apocalyptic capitalist society.
They still have to work, which means that they're still paying bills, which means that they still have to pay rent, whatever, Yeah. But hey, at least we finally solved the problem of world hunger, because apparently we're growing giant food stock.
Yeah.
The dudes are holding, like, huge legs of whatever. Like, what meat grows that big? I guess, mean, to be fair...
It can be no, I'm not going to say this because it's pretty...
Yeah, what, they're cannibalizing themselves?
No.
That's literally what I was kind of about to go to, the myclone chambers. Maybe they're just making super large things. But then again, maybe they can just make artificial meat. Because, like,
grown meat, yeah.
Well, I mean, can you imagine a Zentradi farmer? Like, where were they getting their food stuff before? Since it's just stuff they never thought of when they were writing the show. Like, if all they are warriors, then who's making the food? Is there Zentradi chefs? That's what I'm saying. Anyway, you done? I think I'm done.
Yeah.
All right. Once again, this has been Theta. This has been Lessons. We've been Stoneface Reactions. We will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?